Christmas is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, but for children of alcoholics, that is rarely the case. It's often the most emotionally complicated time of the year. For a lot of us, Christmas does not feel magical. It feels tense. It feels unpredictable. And it can feel like you're spending the full day holding your breath, waiting for something bad to happen. I'm Corey. I'm a trauma-informed mind-body practitioner, and I work with adult children of alcoholics to help them come out of survival mode and finally find safety. And today I want to talk about something that has been a big struggle for me personally over the years. And that is how to get through Christmas Day without abandoning yourself and your needs, drowning in guilt, and without having to go back into that survival mode. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video because I'll be offering a free downloadable that will go much deeper into this topic and that you can take away and do on the run up to the Christmas season. So let's start with something really important. If you dread Christmas, if you hate Christmas, if it makes you really anxious, I want you to know that is okay. On the run up to Christmas, and it can be all the people around us, it can be TV, society, whatever that is, we are conditioned to see that Christmas is this happy, beautiful time spent with family, laughing and really, really enjoying that quality time as a family. And it's beautiful, and it's something, to be honest, I have longed for a very, very long time. But as I said, that is not always the reality for everyone out there. And it can be really difficult to see this and know that your family time actually doesn't look like that. Your family time looks like emotional chaos, disappointment, waiting for your parent to drink way too much and ruin the day, the unpredictability of not knowing how the day is going to pan out. And as we get older and become adults, the Christmas period can nearly feel like this really confusing time where you're being pulled in two different directions. Because one part of you might actually miss your parent, miss your family, miss spending that quality time throughout that day or those couple of days together and making those memories. But there's the other part of you that the thought of being around them fills you with dread, fills you with pain, fills you with knowing that I'm probably going to end up hurt out of this situation. And that's not a weakness. Like, there's not something wrong with you for wanting to actually be around someone who does cause these negative feelings in you. That's not an attachment issue that you have. You're simply craving the connection that you never actually fully got to experience or get throughout your childhood. And to be honest, this emotional like tug of war can be one of the hardest parts of the holiday season. And just being aware of that and naming it, it really is the first step in helping you get through it this year. And so I know for myself, I have walked into many Christmases, especially since probably being a teenager and being an adult, with many different roles throughout the day. I've been the peacekeeper, the fixer, the emotional babysitter, the one keeping an eye on the parent to make sure that they're not filling up their glass too much, or the one who smooths everything over when shit does hit the fan. But here's the truth, and this is a hard lesson that I have learned personally over the years. Your only job this Christmas, other than maybe helping out with the turkey and helping out with all the delicious food that's going to be served, is to stay connected to yourself. It's not to manage the energy in the room. It's not to walk on eggshells. It's not to keep the day nice and calm. And it is certainly not to protect the alcoholic adult from the consequences of their drinking. So before we get to Christmas, I want you to start doing a little bit of preparation before then. I want you to start doing a little bit of self-reflection. And I invite you to ask yourself these two questions. What would help me feel safe on the day? And what can I give myself that I never got growing up? And when you can begin the festive season from that state, when you can begin and step into the day from that mindset, you're stepping into it from your power, from your adult power, not from the childhood patterns that may be repeating themselves over and over each year. And so stepping into the day in that power means that you have a choice. And I want to address a question that gets brought up so much over the years, been working with children of alcoholics. And I've asked myself this question as well. So many people ask, do I stay? Do I go and visit my family at Christmas? Or do I distance myself and do my own thing? And I know so many of you are torturing yourself with this question, especially as we get closer now to the day. And unfortunately, I can't make that decision for you. That is a decision that you have to make yourself. And also, unfortunately, both choices do most likely come with a little bit of pain. But the pain of each choice is different. One could lead to hopefully you feeling peace and calm throughout the day. And the other pain that you may struggle with is one that may lead to chaos and the same patterns repeating themselves. And so the questions have to become a little bit deeper then. The questions that you need to start asking yourself are, what version of this pain is going to help me grow? What version of this pain is going to help me feel safe and calm and actually enjoy the day? And which version of this pain supports the life that I'm trying to build for myself? The life I'm trying to build outside of the chaos and the pain that is associated with having an alcoholic parent. And as I said, I can't answer this for you, unfortunately. And there is no right answer. There's no right or wrong. If you choose to go and spend that time with your family, that's the right choice for you. If you choose to create a little bit of distance throughout the day or throughout the holiday period, that's the right choice for you. There is no right or wrong answer in this. And so while you're trying to ponder, what do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? Do I see them? Do I not? I want to give you a couple of little tidbits on boundaries that might help you manage whatever choice you do decide to make. And people think of boundaries and their mind immediately goes to, oh, that's me being probably a bit of an ass to my family. That's me ignoring the people around me. That's me refusing to see them. And they kind of see them in a negative way. But boundaries are not negative. They're actually super, super positive. And they really protect you from abandoning yourself, from abandoning your needs in that moment. So instead of thinking of boundaries as this negative thing and of you saying no or having to ignore your family, think of them as allowing you to take that step towards finding safety and calm in your body. And so here's a couple of different ways that you could manage your boundaries throughout the day. Go for an hour instead of the whole day. And what I would say with this, okay, is making sure you're pre-planning before. So tell your family in advance, I'm only going to be able to be there for an hour. Instead of being there and constantly overthinking and being like, okay, my hour's nearly up. How am I going to leave? How am I going to get out of here without them being like, why are you going? Or without me causing conflict or hurting people. If you plan, if you tell them in advance, sorry guys, I can actually only be here for an hour today because I've made other commitments with whoever, friends, cousins, whoever that might be. That then means you can go, enjoy the hour, be fully present, and leave without feeling guilty, without feeling like you're upsetting anyone, without leaving on a bad foot. You could leave when drinking starts. Again, tell them, I'm going to leave when alcohol is brought out, or I don't really feel comfortable being around you guys when alcohol is being served today. So I'm going to spend time with you before that happens, and then I'm going to go. This next one is a big one for me because every time I go back to Ireland from Australia and I stay in my family home, it's very triggering for me and it really sets me back 15,000 steps on my healing journey. And I really notice myself falling into those old patterns. So one thing I've promised myself now moving forward, especially if I'm going to have a baby with me, is that I will most likely be staying in a hotel or a different accommodation. So instead of, if you're like me and you have to go and visit from a faraway place, stay in a hotel. Don't stay in the home. Another option would be you could all meet in a neutral place. So instead of meeting in the family home where there's a lot of history, a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of pain can be attached to that, why don't you guys decide to do a Christmas lunch somewhere at a venue where it feels like a little bit neutral, where maybe your alcoholic parent may not feel as comfortable drinking from 7 o'clock in the morning as they usually would because they know they have to be in a public place. Or finally, you just don't go at all. And the most important thing about setting a boundary, and this is something we all do, we over justify, we over explain, we overcompensate because we feel like we have to give all of this information because we kind of feel like we're making up an excuse. But you don't. That makes setting boundaries really difficult because you start talking and you're talking and talking and you're like, oh my God, I am waffling. You just need to be clear, concise, and to the point. And this is really where being assertive and being comfortable with being assertive can be really, really beneficial. So simply saying, I'm going to be leaving at 2 or 3 p.m. today, or I need to step outside for 30 minutes, or I've booked a hotel, that's where I'm going to be staying when I come to visit. That's it. No more explaining, no more giving excuses because you're not doing anything wrong. And I know the guilt is going to come up. I get it. I've been there. We feel guilty setting boundaries with friends, with other family members, in work. It's a really natural thing to feel. But just because you feel guilty, again, doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Like, just because we feel a negative emotion doesn't mean it's wrong. Feeling negative emotions is just very much part of our day-to-day life. And when we're putting ourselves, especially in situations that we may not be fully familiar or comfortable with, of course they're going to arise. And this is when you need to be able to push into that, like, and the resistance that you're feeling. So you feel like you're coming up against a wall with setting a boundary because you're getting all these horrible, horrible emotions and feelings about it. But that's okay. You need to push into that resistance because the more you do that, the easier it actually becomes. And so if you do decide to spend time with your family this Christmas, which again could be the best choice for you, I want to give you a couple of little tips to help you manage that when maybe things might get overwhelming. Because, like I just said, when I go back and spend time with family, I get triggered into acting like a child and acting like the person I was a very long time ago, and my nervous system gets very, very dysregulated. So I want to help you manage it if that comes up for you. So if you're noticing yourself, you're on edge, you're scanning the room, you're kind of keeping an eye on the family that's enjoying the time and the other eye on the alcoholic parent, take a breath, go step outside. Remind yourself, you do not have to be the peacekeeper today. Go sit in your car, go sit in the bathroom, take a breath, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Remember, keep your exhale longer, it will slow down your heart rate, it will signal your body to find safety. And if you need that extra edge while you're doing some breathing, while you're sitting on the toilet, taking a break, whisper to yourself or say in your head, I'm safe. I can leave whenever I want. It is not my responsibility to keep everyone happy today. And these small breaks, they're not a sign that you're weak or that you just can't cope. They're actually a very responsible thing to do. They're a signal to yourself that you're putting your own well-being before the well-being of others. And it's also very possible to create moments of joy that are just solely yours, that don't involve your family. Like, I, for so long, really longed for that, like, family tradition and that, like, just those so beautiful, cozy Christmas moments. And I do remember some of them memories from childhood. It's not that I never had them, but as I got older and became a teenager and things started getting harder with my alcoholic parent, I really craved and longed for that. And it wasn't until I went to Italy with my husband and experienced Christmas with his family that I actually truly felt like I was actually starting to get a little bit of that. But you can create those moments for yourself. Take a walk before the day starts. Meet up with friends and maybe spend some time with them and their kids opening gifts in the morning. Watch your favorite Christmas movie, get yourself cozy, make yourself some really nice snacks, a really nice hot drink. Or decorate your home in the way that you've always wanted. I think when we go through times of, like, Christmas being really hard, we can kind of stop putting effort in, which is completely understandable. I've been there. But I think we do need to put effort in to make it magical if we want it to be magical. That is, it doesn't have to be. It can just be another day. You can stay in bed. Who cares? At the end of the day, it really is another day. But if you do want it to be magical, if you're longing for that, if you're craving that, there are things you can do to do that yourself, to turn that into a magical day for yourself. So I want you to notice there's nothing wrong with you for craving and longing for a normal, picture perfect Christmas. I've been there. You're not dramatic or overreacting for feeling anxious or worried about it. And you're not being disloyal to your family if you do want to take some space from them on that day. Because you actually do deserve a holiday period that doesn't result in you having to abandon your needs and your well-being. So if Christmas is complicated for you, like it is for a lot of us, I really just hope this short video has helped you feel a little bit more grounded in the decisions that you can make for yourself throughout the day. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I do have a free downloadable that will help you go deeper into this work so you can take a little bit of time by yourself to reflect and make a plan before the day comes around. I'll leave a link for it in the comments and in the video description below. And if you like this video, please share it, please subscribe to my channel so we can continue on this journey of healing from having an alcoholic parent together.